think this is a good note for everybody out there.
He says that I don't pull well on TikTok, so
He doesn't.
It's
It's just a fact. It just doesn't pull well. It's called social media for a reason, and it's not selfish media.
I just gotta clear something up. You weren't the 12th man on the field.
There is no easy way to get anything ever.
This is Mornings with Matt, the Deering Acting Studio podcast, where we discuss the connection between life and acting.
Alrighty, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Mornings with Matt on the Deering Acting Studio podcast. Today we are talking about be spontaneous. That is the topic of today's show, inspired by my little lady, Rosalind Lee Deering. Good morning, Rosalind.
Good morning, Daddy.
So I was up this morning and I was finishing another play as I was preparing for Masterclass. And today's message is going to be all about Masterclass. But before we get there, I'll just tell you how I got inspired. So I'm sitting there, finished the play. My little lady comes through. And normally she'll give me a little kiss or something, and then she'll head into our bed and she'll go snuggle her mother. That's what she does normally. Today, she went to do that, and then I hear this. And the door creaks open, and she looks at me, and she goes, "Daddy?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she says, "I have decided that today I want to go to work with you." Right? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I said, all right, well, go brush your teeth, put on some clothes, and let's do this thing. Now, that wasn't expected. I wasn't planning on it.
Yeah.
But what I decided was to be... You all right?
Yeah, just starting this.
That was good. You want to save the marker. That's great. Yeah. Spontaneous. So that's what today's show is all about. I got a special message for everybody in Masterclass. We'll get there in a second. So... Rosalind, I don't know if you know this or not, but our new way of doing things here on the show is we start off with a Bible verse. Okay, so I'm going to read a little piece from the Bible, and we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to jump into being spontaneous and what that means.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Here's our daily devotional. This one is Matthew 14:25-33. All right, so I want to warn everyone. This is a long one, but it's such a good story that I felt like we needed the whole thing. So I'll be quick. Shortly before dawn, Jesus went out to them, walking on the lake. When the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified. "It's a ghost," they said, and cried out in fear. But Jesus immediately said to them, "Take courage. It is I. Don't be afraid." "Lord, if it's you," Peter replied, "tell me to come to you on the water." "Come," he said. Then Peter got down off the boat, walked on the water, and came to Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid and began to sink, crying out, "Lord, save me." Immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. "You of little faith," he said, "why did you doubt?" And when they climbed into the boat, the wind had died down. Then those who were in the boat worshipped him, saying, "Truly you are the Son of God." Okay, so... very well known, obviously, here, this Bible verse about Jesus walking on the water. Rosie, have you ever heard of Jesus walking on the water? Have you ever heard that story? You've heard it before?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
I've heard it.
Okay, so Jesus walks on the water, right? And then one of the disciples is like, whoa, like, what? Spontaneously, he's like, "You know what? Can I do it?" And Jesus is like, "Yeah, go ahead. Come on out." And so he's like, he goes. He fearlessly walks out on the water. He starts walking on the water. But then he gets afraid. So as soon as something comes, a new unknown comes around, all of a sudden he gets afraid. And what happens when he becomes afraid? He starts sinking.
Yeah.
And then Jesus has to come and save him. And he's like, hey, you got to have faith. You got to have faith. It's going to work out. Right? And so faith comes from preparedness. It comes from you being prepared in the right place. So, Rosalind, have you ever heard of the word spontaneity? To be spontaneous. Do you know what that means?
Not really. No.
All right. Well, let me explain it to you. All right. So to be spontaneous is sort of to do something that you weren't expecting to do. To sort of like make it up right now. So it's like, I thought I was going to be doing one thing, and then all of a sudden I'm just going to do another. It'd be like if we were, let's say we were hanging out at the house today, and then all of a sudden we were like, you know what? We didn't plan on it, but let's just go to the cabin. Like, really? Like, we didn't plan? Yeah, let's just go. Let's just pack our bags and go. That's a little spontaneous. Well, yes, it is. That's what spontaneous means. And I think being spontaneous is fun. Because in the adventure of life, when you know everything, when you know where you're going to go, when you know the outcome, things become boring. So you want to prepare in such a way that you can be spontaneous, that you lean into the spontaneity and you get excited about it. Now, here's what's interesting. When I did my research this morning and I looked up Bible verse about spontaneity, I had a really hard time finding one, Joe. I was digging in, and every time, most of the verses about spontaneity, or at least all the ones I could find in these articles, were actually negative about it. Like, don't be rash, don't be this, God did that. And so then I knew of this story. I read the Bible separately in the morning, and so this story came to my mind, and I'm like, this really is a spontaneous moment here. I think we can dive into this one.
Yeah, totally.
But there's something to that when you look at it and go, okay, there's not a lot written about it. So how do we extract it? How do we find it? How do we use it? Kind of thing, right? And I think it's because the preparation is so much harder and it requires so much more work that's the focus.
Yeah.
Essentially, right?
Yeah, you shouldn't live your whole life spontaneously, like in a I don't know what's next. I don't really have a plan. I'm just kind of going with the motions.
Right.
It's more of when you have your goals set, when you have a routine, when you've been doing the same thing over and over again, like you said, you have to throw something in there to shake up the air. To keep it fun, right? That's why vacations are so important to a lot of people. Who are the people that usually really need a vacation? The people that are 9-to-5ers sitting at a desk for months on end, Yeah, but think about this though, Joey. So you're right, but think about this. Those vacations can be boring. Oh yeah, for sure.
See, the deal here is we can bring spontaneity into work. We can bring spontaneity into our daily lives. We can bring spontaneity into our vacations. But just because you're on vacation does not mean you are being spontaneous.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
That's a good point.
And here's an example. Here's an interesting moment. I was talking to our barber, the Apostle Paul, and he was telling me about this client of his who's working with, and Paul said that he was his client said, I'm going to fly you out. I'm going to fly you first class. You and your wife. You come out here. You're going to do some work and will help me out. And Paul was like, oh, and he's like, I'm not taking no for an answer. You come. and Paul just decided to say yes. And he mentioned, he's like, it's fun. Like, I need to start doing that. And I was like, yes, you do. I'm like, those are the things you got to say yes to because he's prepared. Paul is a spiritual leader. He is a man who knows what he knows, and he's helping people. And if somebody can afford to, and they want to fly him and his wife out for a little vacation / help them out with some things, he needs to say yes to that.
Yeah.
And he needs to learn to say yes to that moment, that gracious moment that someone's giving to him. And then here's what's interesting. I said this to him yesterday. I said, here's what could have happened. You could have said no, and then this person might have, let's just say that they were going to pay him, and then they're going to pay him extra of whatever the first class tickets would have cost, whatever the hotel would have cost, or the whatever they're going to pay for, and it adds up to be a couple $1,000s or something, right? And I'm like, maybe they pay you that extra instead. Here's the question: with that couple $1,000s, do you make the choice to go on a little getaway vacation with your wife? Do you make that spontaneous choice? Probably not.
Yeah.
And that's what life is about preparing so that when the unexpected comes, you can take full advantage of it, and that you do take full advantage of it. Because if you don't take full advantage of that moment right there, then all of a sudden it's like, those moments are going to pass you by, and you don't get to have them, right?
Yeah.
And that's the fun.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the thing. It's all about living in the moment.
That's right. That's right. So today, I promise we're going to be talking about masterclass. So we're going to do that. We're here. We're right at the midway point. We're going to take a quick commercial break, very quick. We're going to come back. Rosalind's going to help out Joey with his terrible illustration segment, but I have a feeling they're going to be very good. So we're going to get to that in a moment. So we're going to wrap up with some masterclass. We'll be right back after this message.
I chose steering because I feel like I can take everything that I've learned in acting class and apply it to the real world, to business, to interviews, and just meeting everyday people, learning how to listen better, and it's been an amazing experience so far.
What if we stop judging and start just working on ourselves? Once we do that and we become neutral-minded, nothing bothers us. We don't have to judge anything. We become observers. Observers of this beautiful screenplay.
Yeah.
And when that happens, nothing sways you that way or that way. Everything is more mellowed down. You're not angry. You always, like the book said, surprised with new events, new things that are happening. And whatever happens, we are the creators of what's happening.
Right. So we still have free will.
Yes, we created this.
Yeah.
Whatever is happening, it was our own creation.
Whew, how's this feel? It was one of those lipo moments for you. Here's the thing. Every time you move, it's a move. Do whatever's necessary for the moment. Now I'm gonna do some directing, okay? That line's wrong. Let's get that pause out of there. Don't get yourself stuck in I have to do certain things. I'm very excited for you to have the chance to see where you were when you started the scene to where you are now. Literally, you just leveled up. Literally just leveled up. You know, we were just watching a little piece there from some clips from some of the previous master classes, and it's funny because I'm literally saying it right in there, in that little promo you did, Joey. Mm-hmm. And so here's the deal. Okay, so if you're watching right now, by the way, there are a couple different ways that you can audit the master class. And it is spectacular. I would just tell you that it's one of these things that it always ends up being this really cool thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's an experience of some kind.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing like performing in the class, but it's interesting. You almost, the experience is just as great watching the critiques and the performance because you get to see everything get shaped by what's written in the play. And
there's something too about being in the audience. You end up feeling, you almost feel the same pressure like through the class, like because there's this magical thing happens where everybody's rooting for everybody. So it's almost like you're in the scene every time.
Yeah,
it's very fun. And so anyway, there's a way to audit. You can audit virtually or in person. You can go to the website deeringstudio.com and you can get to the masterclass audit page, and there's two ways to audit the course. So if you if you don't have plans, even if you do have plans, you thought you knew what you're going to do, you know what? It's time to be spontaneous.
Come to masterclass.
Pick up that class, come to masterclass. I guarantee you will not regret it. As a matter of fact, if you regret it for any reason, I'll give you your money back.
Yeah.
But you won't. All right, so master classers. You kind of heard me say this a little bit there a second ago, but you're in your final prep right now. You've done the scene work, you've done the blocking and the props, and you've been thinking about many things. You've done the memorizing. Now you're in your final day. And the last step is going to be to prepare to improvise. You've memorized. You're going to say the lines, but you want to prepare to improvise. You want to prepare to make it new, to make it different, to make it unique and fun and interesting. Because if you guarantee you know what's coming next, then the audience knows what's coming next. And then all of a sudden, things become boring. Mm-hmm. And you can't allow that to happen. You have to be real, like real life. And in real life, we don't know. We don't know exactly in real life. So let me take a pause real quick. Rosalind just brought the microphone to herself, so I need to give her some attention. Rosalind, you got something to say over there?
Yeah.
What's up?
I have a little surprise for the people on the show.
Oh, okay. You want to hand this to me? Mm-hmm. All right. Actually, hand this to Joey, because we'll do a little segment here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for Joey Sweeney's Terrible Illustrations. Except for this is weird. I can see it.
She
it's
used
very
the
clearly
marker
written
instead of my pen.
Interesting.
This says acting. It's got two actors on the stage. They're both smiling, all dolled up, looking pretty. One of them has a script. So I love that attention to detail.
Rosie, you want to explain what you were thinking in the drawing too?
Yeah. I was thinking like on the back there was like this curtain, and what they're standing on is a big stage, and Joey was right. She is holding a script, and she is holding, see the other girl? Mm-hmm. She's holding a make-believe watch timer, like one of those clocks that people hold in their hands. Mm-hmm. But she's making believe it.
Why was she doing that? Why was she holding a clock?
A make-believe clock.
Yeah, why was she doing that?
Because she was practicing a scene.
Yeah. And
it was a prop.
And then time is so important. So you put time into the piece, knowing that the actors are going to remember this time in their lives, and they need to like really track it and just be like, hey, I want to take advantage of every second that I'm on stage. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Joey, that was a great, terrible illustration, and I can't even call it that. It's hard to say that, but it's your segment, so
yeah.
That was
thank you.
One of the best terrible illustrations I've ever seen.
Yeah, well, these figures aren't sticks, so that makes a difference.
All right, good. So coming back to this, I found a quote that I really, really liked here. This is the author of Catcher in the Rye, J.D. Salinger. And somebody asked him the question, what are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do next? He says, it's such a stupid question in my opinion. I mean, how do you know what you're going to do till you do it? The answer is you don't. I think I am, but how do I know? I swear it's a stupid question. I swear it's stupid. And you heard me saying there in the clip, it's like, you don't know. You can't know.
Yeah.
You can't know how you're going to say the line. You can't know exactly when you're going to get up. You can't know it. You have to prepare to then be spontaneous, be listening, be in the moment and go, I think it's going to go this way, but really I don't know. I'm just going to listen.
Yeah.
I'm going to listen to every moment that happens, and from the listening, I'm going to progress forward. That's the key. That is the element, is you are preparing to listen. You are preparing to let go completely of everything you thought. And yet the only way to do that is through crazy unbelievable preparation.
Yeah. No, you have a lot of exercises you do during masterclass that deal with that specifically, that just throw things off and make it so that the actors are forced to do it wrong when they're stuck in that place of saying the lines the same way. And something you always end up saying, but it's so profound always, is the idea that as actors, it's okay that we know what happened in the play, and it's okay that we know what these characters have been through, and we should really research that. But once you hit the stage, you're living it. You don't know.
Right.
You have to be in the mentality of that person in that moment without the knowledge of where it's going. You know, you have to believe that if you're fighting with your wife and it's over a divorce or something, that, like, this is the conversation. You know, you have to know, or you don't know which way it goes, you know?
Yeah.
Even though the play tells you in the next scene, like you have to believe you're fighting for something every time you hop on stage.
So true. So very true, Joseph. So, Rosalind, looks like you've got another little something to share with us here.
Get another surprise.
All right. We're going to just call this one a new segment, brand new segment called Rosalind Deering's Amazing Illustrations.
It's not hurtful at all. I don't take it personally.
All right. We do love you, Joey. All right. So, you want to go first, Joey, or you want Rosie to just jump right in here?
I went first last time, so I'll let her go first.
Okay,
and I'll
Rosie.
See if I notice
Well,
Oh, I like this one. This one's very
I
interesting. to me.
kind of drawed, like I took my time on this. You see, I drawed some acting studio chairs, and then I drawed the actual pattern of the wall, and then I draw the acting sign. And if you can look closely, those are the stairs to go up to the acting sign. And look, see right there, that's an exit sign.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know,
That's
It's
so
the
deep,
listen
Joey.
wall.
This is so
It's the
deep.
listen wall.
I know that this is so
That's crazy.
We got to break this down. This abstract here.
break it down.
I mean, come on. Look, there's so much depth to this. All right. So what do we see here, right? We see these empty chairs. And what do the empty chairs represent? This unlimited potential, unlimited possibility.
I know.
What is it?
The chairs are empty because right now,
It's like they're waiting for people.
yeah, and right now we're the only ones here.
That's right.
So look, see out there the chairs. So if we went inside the acting, it would be true. There would be nobody in the chair.
100%. And then let's think about this, right? So now we have this untapped, unlimited potential of what's going to happen. If you come into the room and you take the master class, you audit the master class, you are in the master class, you get to fill one of these empty seats. And you see the pathway leading forward in front of the chairs, it looks like water.
Yeah.
It looks like actors are going to walk on water and they're going to fearlessly go that way. And then when you leave, when you take that exit from the class, look at what you're going to do. You are going to be going upwards. You cannot leave the class without walking up the stairs. Rosalind, brilliant drawing.
Yeah, Daddy.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, Rosie.
Can I tell you some more about the drawing?
Yeah, sure.
I was trying here to make the drawing real, like this is actually happening in the other room.
I know.
I'm making this like this drawing is a scene. It's actually happening.
It is, and it is, right? This is the spontaneity of the moment. Like the moment is that no one's in there right now, but it's waiting. It's waiting for people to come in and take advantage of the space. I'm just telling you, Rosalind, the drawing's deep.
Yeah.
The drawing is wonderful.
Yep.
And here's this other lesson, right, about spontaneity. Rosie's here. Wasn't planning on her being here. You've made the show so great, baby. Thank you for being here. But you know, I'm not preparing necessarily to talk about the picture. She's not even preparing to tell me to talk about it a certain way. But if I decide to, if I look at the painting, it's like any piece of art. If I look at it and I decide to look deep into it, I can find something wonderful. You can find something deeper. There's always something underneath the lines, right? There's always going to be something extra there.
Yeah.
I was just inspired by that. I thought that was so cool. You know, like there's like it does look like the classroom, but there are some subtleties in there that really represent what we've been talking about today. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that's on accident.
Nope.
Okay. Last thing. There's a last little analogy here for everybody, and this is the idea of letting go, because you got to let go. You've got your preconceived notions. You've got your pre-planned ideas. You have what you think you're going to be and what you're going to do. All right. But then through preparation, you earn the right to let go when you hit the stage. And when you fully let go, that's when you can be free. And when you're free, you can be coached at a high level. You're not fighting it. You're not trying to be right. You're not trying to whatever. Because I can tell you right now, I'm not trying to be right.
Yeah.
I'm studying hard, like I do every masterclass, to prepare for the class so that I can let go and not know how it's going to go.
Yeah.
I study every scene. I listen to all the actors that are in the class. I feel the energy, and then I just let myself be inspired by the moment. That's how masterclass works. And that's how I want the students to be as well. I want you to prepare like crazy, but you gotta let go. If you don't let go, it's gonna be painful. The time that you're not letting go is gonna be painful. And here's my analogy for you. Okay. If you don't prepare, that's like going up into an airplane, jumping out, and you didn't put on a parachute. It's a bad idea. If you do prepare and you're ready and you got the parachute on, you've done, you memorized all the rules and did all the things, but you don't let go, that's going to be like you're all prepared. You got your goggles on. You're ready to go. You're going to make it. It could be an awesome ride down. But as you go to jump out, you hold on to the edge of the plane. And what happens? I mean, you're just going to the wind's just going to smack you against the plane, and that's going to hurt.
Yeah.
Okay, that's going to be painful until you finally let go. And hopefully, if you're one of those, I'm going to help you let go so that there can be some part of the ride that's going to be fun. For those of you who are ready to completely let go, you've all the way prepared, and you're ready to hit that stage. You're ready to grow. You're ready to honestly fail upward. Like you get excited about it. You're just going to go, hey, it's time to jump. And it's euphoric. And I can tell you from experience, because I have jumped out of a plane before, there's really nothing like it. You do feel like you're flying. And that fear that's inside of you, because it is deep fear. Once you jump out, the weirdness it goes away. You don't think about the ground anymore. You don't have a weird feeling in your stomach. Like you're just flat out floating. And it feels euphoric. And that is how Masterclass feels once you jump. This is how any performance in life feels when you're fully prepared. This is how that vacation you were talking about, Joey, feels. I've been on vacation with people who
don't vacation.
who get sick on vacation every time.
Yeah.
Who bring, piles of work with them and stress out and this and that. And it's like, if you don't let go, if you don't lean into the moment that you're in, and it's not like you couldn't bring work with you. That's fine, but just define what's what and be honest. And if it's time to let go, you gotta let go.
Do you mean
Yeah.
why, like when you went, you and Jack to the cabin, you brought work to the cabin?
I didn't.
You didn't?
I might have had my computer. I had stuff with me that I could do, but Jack was my number one priority. So we played in the snow. I gave all my attention to Jack in the snow. The truth was, I had let go. I had completely let go. I made that weekend all about Jack. I made it all about the adventure. And the truth is, if I hadn't done that, there's a chance that we would have gotten into a car crash because the snow was so bad. If I wasn't just focused on the one thing, we could have been in a car crash. But now, instead, I have these wonderful pictures with Jack. I have these wonderful memories because I was able to let go and live into that moment.
Yeah.
All right. We need to wrap this show, Joey. We're at the time here. It's time
Wait,
to end.
but I just finished the last picture I wanted to show everyone.
All right, great. So we're gonna wrap here. The very end of our show, the ending summation. I don't know what I'm gonna say yet because I'm gonna wait till this picture that Rosalind drew is going to be demonstrated. You want to pass that over to Joey? Let him hold that up for you, Rosalind. Okay. Here we go. All right, what do we got, Rosie?
Okay, so we've got Daddy and Joey, and right now...
Who's who? Which one's which?
Okay, so that one's Joey.
Which one? Which one?
That one.
The one closest to Joey's face, or the one closest to his hand?
No, the one who's sitting, like...
The one that's near Joey's hand that's
who has
holding
glasses on.
is Joey.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the glasses is Joey. Okay.
And you are sitting right there.
Okay.
And that's the camera, and those are two lights.
Uh huh.
And mornings with Matt.
Oh, this is the Mornings with Matt show.
Yeah.
Hey,
This is very accurate.
I love it. I love
for
it.
masterclass for I like it.
Yeah, and you know what? I got this real serious look on my face, right? And Joey's just loving life back there.
Yeah.
Just loving life.
People ask that all the time. They're like, do you really like the camera stuff and like the editing? Because like you used to act, and I was like, I still act, baby. I just like to do like video work. It's fun, you know?
Yeah,
it's
dude.
crazy that
It's-
I stumbled on to that because of this place. But like, what a great passion.
It's such a funny thing. Like, you know, a lot of people don't know this, but Harrison Ford, the actor,
Han Solo.
is a woodworker. He's like very good at that. Like he is professional at woodworking. He loves doing it.
I didn't know that, but I totally buy it.
He was prior to his big launch of a career. He is afterward. And while he was doing woodworking, he ended up on sets because he was so good at woodworking that he ended up doing like building sets for movies. And that's how he eventually got his big break, was just being around the right people, making the right connections at the right time, and then you know just got a couple roles in a row that kind of things started going for him. Right now, what if someone was like, "Hey, are you sure you're really into that like woodworking thing? Like I thought you used to be an actor." And he's like, "I am an actor still. Just because I like woodworking also doesn't mean I'm not an actor.
Yeah.
Stop saying that. I don't have to be one or the other."
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's one of those mistakes that people make is they're like, oh, I have to stop everything I'm doing. I got to just throw away my, I got to just throw away my job. I got to do this or that. Like, no, you don't. Like, you're an actor also. And you're also a person who has a lot of depth. So love it.
So cut it out.
Cut it out. Something got like echoey. Did you hear
Yeah,
that?
is it like ringy?
I don't know. We better cut it just in case.
Now it's not. That was weird.
That was
for a
weird.
second.
It's probably some kind of something in here. I don't know. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is our show. We're gonna have to wrap here. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you, Miss
Hey, Rozzy,
Rosalind.
can you look at the camera right there and say, God bless?
God bless.
Oh my gosh, so cute.
Perfect.
I gotta take a second to pull up Champy Day. You know.
Ref. Was that a lot of work to do that?
Thanks for listening to Mornings with Matt. Please like, subscribe, and follow us at Deering Acting Studio to keep up with the latest content. For more information on classes, private lessons, or professional development coaching, visit www.deeringstudio.com. Have a Deering day, everyone.
Have a chippy day, everyone. Rough.